Howdy folks, welcome back to the 9th Mile Arc. I know it's been a long time, and yet again, I'm recording early in the morning before work so I can get a video in. My real life is just super crazy. I know that sounds kind of cliche when someone on YouTube isn't uploading videos, but that's just the truth. This is just a hobby. And I guess my hiatus means I have my priorities in order, such as my family and my job and things. So sorry about the lack of videos. I know you all forgive me, and welcome to the new subscribers who have subscribed and haven't seen a video yet. There's about 15 or 18 of you who have subscribed since my last video, so thank you. And here we are. I do have a little technical question for everybody, because I know flight simulator people are generally tech savvy, way more tech savvy than I am, even though my day job completely relies on the ability to figure out tech without a reference, because I'm the reference in my professional career. I'm the expert, but I don't know basic stuff like this. So here's my question. The past 4 NVIDIA driver updates for the 2080, that's what I have the 2080, not the Ti, just the regular 2080. I have not been able to do games in full screen anymore. I have to do them in windowed mode. So for example, with Flight Simulator and Minecraft, I have 2 monitors. I only use one for games. If I do full screen, my second monitor flickers like crazy and is unusable. I need it though, because that's where my recording software sits. If I play in windowed mode, like I am right now, then my monitors are fine. The problem with windowed mode, if you look at your YouTube video you're watching, it's not a full 1440p image, so you have little tiny black bars on the top and bottom to make up for the title bar of my window. So I'm in windowed mode, maximized, so it looks full screen right now, but it's not really full screen. That's why I have those little bars. That happens with Minecraft and Flight Sim, because if I do true full screen, my other monitor flickers. Now, a couple games I play on Steam in full screen is fine. So why is that fine? I don't know. But that's what's going on. When I roll back my drivers, I have to roll back a couple months. Everything's fine. But I really don't want to roll back my drivers like 3 or 4 revisions, because there are other things that are fixed. So for right now, for both Minecraft and Flight Sim, I'm just playing a windowed mode maximized. It's kind of annoying. I see the title bar and things and it drives me crazy, but at least it's usable. I have my frame rate counter up then, because I want to see how it affects frame rates. So if you have any suggestions, I've been Googling the daylights out of this and I can't figure it out. So the latest 4 NVIDIA drivers for the 2080, I cannot do games in full screen. Anybody else having that problem? Because according to Google, I'm the only person with the problem. And I've asked on some random forums. No one has any idea what I'm talking about. So I know that's not Flight Simulator related, but I know a lot of you are techie folk. So if you could have any ideas, I mean, I've gone through every NVIDIA setting. I've gone through monitor configurations. I've gone through everything. Like I said, when I roll back, it's fine, but I don't want to roll back that far. So that's been my frustrating thing. Otherwise, that's my introduction for today. Welcome new people, and we're going to get going here. So today, we're going to fly Lake Toba in Indonesia. I think I promised an Indonesia flight a month and a half ago when I did my last flight. And we're in the Beaver. It kind of works if you make some adjustments. If you go to the Beaver forum, on the org forum, you will see a few adjustments you need to make to get this thing to work. And it works for the most part. There are a few goofy things, but otherwise, it works for the most part. We're going to do the best we can. I notice my rudders aren't working even though I reset them. It's so strange. I have to reset my rudders a lot. Otherwise, Lake Toba. We're starting at Soewondo Air Force Base, which is, oh my gosh, what's my phonetic alphabet? What's W? Not Walter. Oh my gosh, I have to think about this. Whiskey Indigo Mike Kilo. Wow. In North Sumatra, Indonesia. We're going to go to Whiskey Indigo Mike November, which is Silangit International Airport in Sumatra, Utara, Indonesia, in the Beaver. Completely VFR flight, but we are going to tune in an NDB. Our mountain peaks are 8,200 feet above sea level, so we're going to have to mind that. Otherwise, we're going to use our map on our lap, in other words, our little iPad, so to speak. It's kind of quite a long flight. We're going to go from here. Why does this show? Oh, I'm like, I didn't do any flying. That's the AI aircraft. I forgot I turned them on. I should turn them off. I'll get some more frames. I don't need the frames right now. We're in the 70s and 80s. But if we're in a big city, I should really turn off AI aircraft. Anyway, weather's turned off because it is severe storms with like 80-mile-an-hour gusts right now. 80 knot gusts. So weather's turned off because it's completely unflyable in this aircraft right now. So we're just going to head south. Use our map. We're going to use the lake as a guide. This is Lake Toba, and here's our destination. We're going to kind of come out and then fly on, what is it, runway 100 probably? 90. Okay, runway 9, 90 degrees. 4,000 feet. So our peaks are at 8,200. Our destination is at 4,000, so that's going to be an interesting descent. We might have to navigate around some mountains here. Swing wide. We'll see. See how long it takes. I have a feeling this is going to take me a lot longer than I have anticipated, but we'll have to see. So I'm going to reset my rudders like usual. I already did, but I'm going to reset them again. Everything else is working. Yeah, everything else is working. I'm going to reset my rudders and we're going to get started. All right, here we are back inside. We're going to shut the passenger doors. I'm going to try to do it from here because we never get to do that. There you go. That worked. And then we're going to shut this one as well. And if you hear any background noise, my wife is awake already. It's like 5:45 a.m. real time. I wonder why she's up. Anyway, maybe one of the kids woke her up. Although the kids should just be heading off to school on their own these days. I don't know. But anyway, here we go. Checklist for the Beaver, which isn't too complicated. Let's see here. Make sure the static elements are removed. I think they are already. Where's the static elements? Yeah, pre-flight. Those are removed already. We're going to use tender tires because I don't know what kind of runway our destination is. Otherwise, next is the closed doors, which we did. Parking brake reset, which is right there. Alrighty, fuel set up. Not sure. Should we go a little bit more fuel? I don't know how long this flight is going to be. Let's go 2 hours on the flight time, just in case. You never know. Hide the yoke, already did. The props forward. There we go. Alt and battery switches like so. Map lights if needed. Don't know why I have. Is it this one? Why would I put map light? Oh, because then you can see everything if it were dark. Okay, that's why it says as needed. I must have edited this thing. I don't remember that being on my checklist. Cabin lights if night. It's not. Pulse and beacon light. There's beacon. Where's pulse? Right there. Select the fuel tank. We're going to go center. We're going to go rear, I think. On the wobble pump. Okay, so I should have a preset for this. Yeah. And what we're looking for is you want this arrow or this dial to go right at 3 o'clock. So let's see. If you go too much, you flood it, and it's hard to start. So there we go. That should be good. Primer by the door. We have a preset for that. 4 times I wrote down. It says 3 in the old version. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. Throttles up a quarter. Mixture up. Fuel boost. Where are you? Fuel boost. Fuel boost. Starter switch for 4 seconds. And ignition to both. And do we have a running airplane? We do. Nice. It only takes me like 3 times to start this thing. So that is great. Okay, good. Ignition to both. Let engine start. Let engine start. Throttle back. Fuel boost off. Radio switch. Tune radios and instruments. We are going to tune a radio. We're going to tune the ADF to 244. See if I remember how to do this. I think we have to go. Oh, is there another? Oh, it's this one. I remember. 244. I totally did that backwards. That's strange. Down. There we go. 244. Awesome. Oh, I have to turn it on. Glad I caught that. We're not using any of that stuff. 244. Double check. 244. Okay. Simple as that. So this is our ADF card right here. We'll just point towards that thing, but it's still going to be visual. We're just going to use that to help us in case I get lost. Altimeter barometer, 299.2, because we turn weather off. Taxi, turn off the map lights. That's so that your eyes are adjusted. Throttle low for taxi. This is where it may or may not be true depending how the simulator is feeling today. Flap set as you taxi. Pitot heat on as you taxi in this. That's what my note says. Or pitot heat. I say pitot heat for the new people. It's a running joke at this point. Super deep inside joke, but people are calling me out on it, so I'm going to start saying pitot heat instead of explaining it's an inside joke to every single person. All right, no taxi lights. Okay, flap set for takeoff. Oh, that's right. It's not. It's a. There we go. Okay, I don't know where we're going. We don't have to worry about weather, so let's just pick a runway here based on our map. So we'll pull up our iPad and zoom in, and we're just going to take off. What would this be, like 29 or something? 23, 29. Oh, I'm out of practice. So we're just going to turn to the right, take off right on runway 23, and head to the south. It's going to be as simple as that. So here we are in our taxi view. Let me get adjusted here. All right. Parking brake off. And if it all goes well, this should taxi just fine. Normally we would get a pushback, obviously, but that's not going to happen. Okay, good. Everything's working. In the previous video where we tested this, it didn't quite work, and that was because, see those brakes. That was because we were on dirt, and that was a whole nother monster. But so far, so good. So again, I've forgotten what the two adjustments were in the plane maker for this, so just go to the org forum. But this plane should be flyable. This is the X-Plane 11 update, sort of. There's not a true update 11 version of this plane, but I just love it so much more than all the other Beavers that I'm just making this one work. And if I know what it is, it's the SoulMade Sim, DHC Beaver, originally for X-Plane 10, but slightly modified for 11, and then further modified by the end user to work better. Alright, so here we go. We really should stop there, but we're going to pull onto the runway before we do our final stuff. Also looks like we're floating, doesn't it, a little bit? That's okay. Alright, I'm nervous. It's been a long time. And if you're looking forward to the landing in this, it's going to be bad. In X-Plane 10, I landed this thing perfectly every time. X-Plane 11, I've yet to land this thing anywhere remotely nicely. So we're not expecting a good landing. And I apologize for the noise upstairs. I have no idea what's going on in my house right now. Alright, so here we go. Let's just stop right here. This is good enough. And set the parking brake. Come back inside. Nav lights. Nav light. Let's come down here. Nav light. And landing lights. Confirm flap set. Prick prop. Mixture. Yes, yes. Heading bug. Where we're gonna go. I think I can push it. I thought I could push this one. I guess I can't push this one. Runway heading for the most part. Cabin lights off. They're not even on. Pitot heat is on. Start the stopwatch. Look at in-dash clock for time. There's not a stopwatch in this. I must have, when I did this checklist. This was my first plane I ever bought. I must have had a stopwatch. Oh, I'd use my phone for time. That's what I did. Use my phone for flight time. I'm not going to do that today. We'll just look at this clock, which never is right. It like always jumps around. 8:19. It'll be 8:20 by the time we take off. Okay, I think that's it. So we will use autopilot just so we can sightsee, but not right now. So let's see. Parking brake off. Feet on the rudders. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if this actually takes off. The taxi worked with the fixes. Let's see if taking off actually works with the fixes. Oh boy, it's not. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Is this me or is this the sim? I can't tell. Anyway, we're off the ground anyway. STOL, we only need to like 100 feet to take off. So there we go. Let's just fly. Runway heading and level off a little bit. Slightly climb. So we'll raise the flaps a little bit. There we go. Wow, I'm impressed. Ooh, there's scenery. Hang on, there's something to look at here. We'll stop those wheels from spinning. Look at this. All right, so we're still getting over 70 frames per second with everything cranked. Granted, this isn't New York, but this is still a lot of scenery. Wow. 85. Okay, so windowed mode isn't really screwing up anything. In fact, my frame rates might be better in windowed mode. You guys let me know. Guys and gals, I know I have like a third of my viewers are female. So you folks, you know, men, women, or however you identify yourself, let me know, do you get better performance in windowed mode? Because I'm getting much better performance in windowed mode than full screen. So maybe I'll just keep it in windowed mode. Because, I mean, this is highest detail and I'm in the 60s. Normally I'd be down in like the 40s right now if I were full screen. So, I don't know. We're still in 1440p, but we're in windowed mode and we are just doing fantastic. Now we're in the high 80s. Interesting. Okay, well, I learned something today. Never too old and never too experienced to learn things. I'm taking some screenshots, that's why it stalls a minute. This is fabulous. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm impressed. I don't know what to say. Okay, so here we go. Let's stay on task anyway. So what are we doing? Purely VFR. Let's pull up our iPad here and see where we're going. We're not heading in the right direction. So we need to climb like crazy because we need to get over 8,200 feet. And then we need to aim for that water. Yeah, this is going to be a much longer flight than I thought. So that's fine. That's fine. am in no hurry. If I have to get to work, I will pause the sim and go work. And tomorrow morning continue, I guess. But hopefully I can do this in one shot. Alright, let's see. We have to monitor some things. Yeah, see our cylinder temp is way in the red. So here we go. Let's bring all this back to the green, just so we don't blow things up here. Will this work? That'll work. Okay, we can keep our fuel, but the props are down in the green now, right? See, let me zoom this in. I'm also using a different field of view. I'm using 80 now instead of 30, I think, and it's much, much better. Yeah, there we go. Still in the green. Everything's in the green. Can I even crank that up further? Yeah, good. Okay, then we have to just keep an eye on our temps. Cylinder's way in the red. If it's in the red for more than like 8 minutes or so, I'm starting a fire. But it's coming down in a hurry. Good, okay. Alright, how high do we need to get? Much higher than 4,700 feet. So let's climb to about 8,500 or so. And then we'll use Alt Hold. Yeah, we're in the 100 frames. So, I mean, this is nuts with windowed. Okay, I think, yeah, I can't believe this. We're getting triple-digit frames being in windowed mode. And we've never been above 80 ever, I don't think, in full screen. So, nothing to complain about. Anyway, here we are. One of my favorite aircraft. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Every time I fly this thing, I tell a story about it. So, just search other Beaver videos on my channel if you want to hear the story behind this thing and why I own it. Otherwise, let's just enjoy the scenery. I don't have anything else to say. I've talked way more than I needed to. I'm just trying to fly without autopilot, and sightseeing is not working. So we are going to climb to 8,200, 8,500, set autopilot so that I can sightsee. That's the next step. So I'm going to do that. It's only 2,000 more feet. And then I'll talk through the autopilot and we'll have some gorgeous sightseeing. So I will catch you in about 20 seconds or so. Alright, we're coming up on 8,000 feet. So let's bring our flaps all the way in. And then we'll force it to climb a little bit, but it'll be a much slower climb. And then I have the autopilot panel pulled up. There's autopilot if I go down here. But I kind of want to see what I'm doing too. So while we're catching up to 8,500, let's turn this... Let's not turn that on yet. Actually, yes, we can, I think. I think we can turn it on. That'll do, yep, that'll level us off. Or side to side, right. the roll will be leveled. And then we're going to hit Alt right at 8,500 now. That'll bring us down. And then we want to set our heading bug to where we are. Actually, let's see. What do we want to do? Let's look at our iPad a little bit. Yeah, let's keep heading this direction. And once we get to the lake, we'll... Actually, we could probably just head this direction across the lake and then come into the airport. We'll see. Let's use this now. So heading bug is set. So I think if we hit nav... No, center. Push for heading or stabilizer. Or, not stabilizer. Why am I forgetting what STB means? Anyway. Nah, heading. There you go. So that's heading bug. We already hit Alt. So heading bug and Alt. That's all you do. Super simple. And we're good. So we're going really fast, which we're going to... Let's come down here and check our temperatures. That's in the green. Let's see. Our rear tank is the lowest. We'll change to the front tank in a moment. That's in the green, and that's... Ooh, that's a little in the red. Just about. So let's come up here, check this out, what's going on. That's all fine. That's all in the blue, so I'm not sure why that isn't. These, if you're in the green or below, it should coordinate with this. So I don't know why that's peaked at red, but I guess we could slow it down a little bit and get us in the green here. But I want to go fast. We can also turn landing lights off, I believe. There we go. All right, let's check our checklist here, and then we'll cruise and get some sightseeing in. What do we got? Props and throttle in the green. We already do. Landing lights off. Confirm temps along the way. Confirm fuel along the way. Then approach is just confirm weather, runway, barometer, which isn't going to apply because we don't have any weather going on. Landing lights and flaps. So that's it. So we'll keep my frame rate counter up just for this flight, then I'll turn it off. But otherwise, enjoy the loud sounds of the airplane. I'm not going to do music today because I want you to hear these awesome sounds. So enjoy the loud sounds of the airplane in your headphones. Do a bunch of sightseeing, and I guess I'll catch you when we're going to decide on our approach to the airport. Enjoy the lake, and I'll see you in a little bit. Oops daisy, I think we have a problem. I stepped away for a minute and we are on fire. So apparently the cylinder temp didn't matter even though everything else is in the green. So we were going too fast. I'm going to reset my flight and get back to where we were, and instead of just doing a new video and cutting this one short, we are going to start over and do this properly. Like, let me get it reset up. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're pretty much back on track, I think. So, even though these things are all in the green, the props are in the green, and the manifold pressure was in the green. Our cylinder head was way in the red, beyond the red. I thought just having these two dials in the green would make all this be in the green, but apparently not. So I'm gonna have to watch my cylinder temp, and when it gets to be too red, I guess we need to bring back our throttles so we keep the speed in the green, and then hopefully that'll stay in the green. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that and not just assume things, and actually fly this plane, and then hopefully we'll survive this time. That was pretty interesting, I must say. Those graphics, the fire graphics were amazing too. Okay, so we're in the green here. I'm gonna keep it like that. We're in the green up here. Wow, manifold pressure's way low. And we're gonna make sure that stays in the green or lower. Okay. Autopilot is set. There's our lake. We're barely gonna cover the terrain. So I think what we're gonna do is when we get to the lake, we're just gonna take this channel. Or should we take the other channel? Cut to this airport. Now let's take this channel around, and then we'll come in for runway 9 landing. So it's gonna be another, I don't know how long it's gonna be. What's the clock say? See, the clock is all strange. It's gonna be another half an hour at least for me. So a little bit more sightseeing for you. And I'll catch ya soon, as long as there's not another fire. Alrighty, we completely flew by our airport because I was having too much fun sightseeing. I just want to get a little bit more view of the lake in. So let's turn autopilot off. We have to come down 4,300 feet. And the airport is right over here, I think. And weird, I'm getting some weird screen stuff. I'm getting 93 frames per second, but it's really jittery. So I don't know if that's the windowed mode thing or if it's a VSync thing. Hopefully it looks fine for you. Yeah, we're hitting 100 frames per second, but I'm getting like jitters. That's kind of weird. So it feels like it's like 15 frames per second, but it's in the hundreds. That's why I have my frame rate counter up so I know what's going on. Anyway, the airport I think is way back here. Isn't it? Let's pull up our iPad. There it is. Yep, see? Oh my. It goes into a cliff. Let's check that out while we're circling to loot altitude. Because we're at 8,000 feet. We have to come down almost 4,000 more. Doesn't feel like 4,000. Did it really say 4,200 on that? What does it say? It says 4,059. So we gotta come down 3,500 feet? Feels like it's... Oh my... What? What? How are we supposed to land in that? That's really bizarre. Look at that. This is going to be a very interesting landing. Thankfully, you don't need much runway. So I guess it'll be safer to do runway 9 like we planned, because runway 27 is off a sheer cliff. That's like a 1,500 or 1,700 foot drop. No wonder why it said it's only 4,000. Or it's at 4,000 and we're what? 7,600. And we're not that high above the ground. It's because we have to drop like 2,000 feet. Oh, this is going to be very interesting. Well, let's get our landing lights on at least. Otherwise, for approach, it's just flaps is appropriate. Pitot heat is on. We don't use fuel boost or anything. Landing lights are on. It says we've been flying for almost 45 minutes, which I guess is right. Okay, enjoy the views while you can. We already had our fire, and now we might have a nice significant crash. Actually, what we might have to do is come from the left of the runway and just take a final when we're over the threshold, and then just, I don't know. We'll see if we can nosedive over that mountain. Otherwise, we might have to come from back there. I'll show you. If we come from where the wing is, and turn and land like halfway down the runway. That is really bizarre. This is going to be really fun though, actually. Well, we better be careful. We're going to run into some terrain. We also need to go to our main, for our middle fuel tank, because we want to use the one that has the most fuel. Interesting how it says center there, but middle there. That is very interesting too. Alright, well, we're doing our downwind leg, and we're only 2,700 feet above where we need to be. Okay, so here we are, just about to touch down on the mainland, and we're 1,200 feet above. So we're going to have a 1,200 foot drop. 1,200 feet to get down there. Oh, this is going to be a riot. How are we going to do this? All right, well, let's not lose any more altitude. And let's not lose any speed either. Let's take it just out of the arc. Have one final look out the windows as we skim the ground here. You can't even see the lake. We're so low. Oh my gosh, this is definitely very exciting. Between the fire and this weird landing, this is going to be quite the flight after taking a couple months off, isn't it? Wow. Alright, do we have enough here to go on our crosswind? I think that should be enough for a crosswind. Okay, let's start slowing down. Let's get below 100 if we can. Coordinate that turn. It's gonna have to be a sharp turn. Wow, this is awesome. You gotta love it. I'm gonna have to look at this area in real life and see what it actually looks like. Alright, so looking for about a 9 on the compass. There we go. Okay. Let's not lose any altitude. Let's get our first set of flaps down. It's going to float like crazy. It's going to slow down. Let's get our second set of flaps down. It's going to float. Let's get our third flaps. And let's keep our speed really low. I guess I could try to slip it. Whoops, I'm totally off the runway here. Let me regroup a second. Alright, nice and slowly. I guess I could slip it like I said. But we have flaps out, and I don't know if a Beaver, if you should slip it with flaps out. But we're going to see how this goes. We're right at stall speed, just about ready to go over this. Be nice if we were a little more lined up with the runway. Well, let's not clip the wheels. Okay, we made it. Here we go. Here we go. A little bit of left rudder, I guess. Let's slip it a little bit, even with flaps out. I know you're not supposed to, but we're going to. We're doing a 1,200 foot nosedive while we slip it. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Not slipping it enough though, because we're gaining a lot of speed. I think this is gonna be enough if we. Throttles have been back the whole time. Okay, let's let go of the slip. And let's let it come down. And of course, I'm terrible anyway at this. So let's see how this goes. I think we're down. I think we're down. No, we bounced a little bit. Oh, no, we bounced a lot. Well, at least, oh, no, we're gonna, oh, we're not even, no. We didn't crash. We're not on the runway. That's why I've had ton to try yours. Let's get our rudder in there so we can straighten out a little bit. Alright, so we had a little bit of bounce. And we completely missed the runway. Is that a building at the end? But we have our ton to try yours on for a reason. Right? I guess we're just going to stop here because I have too much friction. That's the problem with this, is the friction. You can't go once you're on the grass, see? It just barely moves. So we're going to stop here, set the parking brake, and let's figure out how to shut this thing down. Okay, so normally as we were taxiing, which we didn't do, we would stop the clock. Looks like it was a 50-minute flight or so. And then we're going to come down here, turn the landing lights off, turn the nav lights off. There should also be beacon light too, and pulse light. Where do I have those? Nope, never mind, that'll be later. Alright, let's see, let's go by the list. Cabin lights can come on, map light can come on. Flaps should be coming in, which would have been during the taxi. Like we said, we didn't have a taxi, so flaps coming in now. Pretend we're taxiing right now. Is that going to go in all the way? Okay, I guess that's where it is. And then pitot heat off. Now we would be stopped, right? People would start coming out. So map light would come on. And then mixture back. Ignition off. Let's go down here for that. Ignition off. We can bring the props back if we want to, I guess. Now the beacon light and pulse light come off. And fuel selector to off. There we go. Radios off. Instrument lights off. Do we even have that on? We didn't have that on for this because it wasn't dark. Fuel selector up. Map light, cabin light. Those can come off now. Fuel boost? Why was that on? Not like, I didn't turn that back on. That was weird. Alt and battery. And open doors from inside, I think. And then we can hop out here, spin around, and then open the passenger door. I hope they didn't throw up too much. And then do the pre-flight elements. And there we go. That is it. Indonesia. First time I've been here, I think. I just love this little nosedive thing. That was pretty funny. And we had a fire. I know when we started a fire, we should have let it crash, and then that would have been in the flight, but I didn't want to because I wanted to see this lake. So we did. And we also got to have a crazy landing in a crazy area. So if you enjoyed the flight, I certainly did. If you are a regular subscriber, thank you for continuing support. If you found my accent, please like, please subscribe, please share with your friends. If you have any requests, I do take sub requests. In fact, the next flight is going to be a sub request. I usually bump them up in my to-do list that I have. Otherwise, I certainly enjoyed the flight. I hope you did too, and I'll catch you on the next one.